Hey, Mike Acord here from Susquehanna Fishing Tackle, and we're going to get into talking about all the different aspects of a spinnerbait and when you should throw it and how you should throw it. And we're talking about some retrieves, that I do and what works for me. But I guess first of all, we need to talk about the style of baits that are out there. A spinnerbait is really known for a bait fish imitator. However, it has evolved over the years into really all kinds of bait. Bluegills, representing shad, representing crayfish. Guys are throwing them, dragging them on the bottom for crayfish. And colors and the blade sizes and the blade styles will help you imitate whatever you want to imitate. The round blades and the willow leaf blades, okay? So you can see the difference between a round and a willow leaf. That's your biggest difference right there. So this is the willow leaf right here, and this is your round style blade or your Colorado blade. And another style of round blade is the Indiana blade, which is I'm going to get into here in a minute. So there's a few different styles of blades. Now the one that we know mostly is the willow leaf blade, and you can have them in double willow leafs. You can have them in willow Colorados, which there's a good example of a willow Colorado, where you have a willow leaf and a Colorado on the shaft. And then you have your double round ones, like your baits like this right here, which is two round Colorados or a Colorado Indiana, as you can see right here also. So when do you throw the different styles of baits? For me, I'm mostly a willow leaf guy. Most of the time I'm throwing a willow leaf combination, whether it's a double willow or a willow Colorado. The double willow I think is your most versatile and most flashy type of bait out there. It puts off the biggest flash. Really a bait fish imitator. Really draws the fish in with that type of flash and size. It has the most lift to it, so when you're casting it and reeling it back, it really wants to lift up so you can fish it over top of grass very easy. You can fish it around wood really easy, and you can control the depth with it. And it gives you a longer elongation of your flash. So that's important. I'm going to get into that a little bit more, but this is very important, is the flash of the bait, of the blade, of the style of blades, give you a longer blade flash here, which is a long flash, or your round blades, which gives you a much smaller flash right here and changes the dimensions on your flash right there. So this is a real flashy type of bait. These are baits that you're going to throw and try to get your most flash out of them. Size of blades is in willow leaf is all over the place. You have your traditional, which is your number 4. I'm going to do it with this colored one. Is your number 4 and 4.5. That's your pretty much traditional all-around blade size that you'll see is your number 4 and 4.5, the blade configuration. It gives you the most amount of flash. It gives you the perfect amount of lift. Gives you a little bit bigger profile. So that's what you'll see a lot of guys having in their boats and on board. But there's different ones. Like here's a number 3.5 and a 4. A number 3.5 right here and a 4. So this is a smaller willow leaf combination that you'll see on a lot of baits like this one. This is a War Eagle Screaming Eagle. When you want to throw your bait out and reel it back really quick and fast without it rolling over, this is the one that you're going to use for your fast retrieves. So your number 4 and your number 3.5 is your smaller blades for burning your baits. And then you have like specialty ones. I like around June, late June, July, right after the spawns. You have a lot of small fry around. I like the real small ones. This is like almost like a specialty one. This is like a number 2 and a 3. So this is super small here. And this is the Strike King Baby Burner. Real small flash, real small profile. Really good for that late June, early July fry when there's a lot of small fry around. That's a really good bait for that also. And then also in your willow leash you have your big blades, and this is a cool blade. This is a willow Colorado, but look at that, that's a number 5 willow leaf. So a number 5 willow leaf is just going to give you a much more flash, the largest amount of flash, the largest amount of lift, and you're going to get to fish out a little bit slower and still maintain your depth of water that you want to do. So then you have like your hammered blades too. So you have, probably shouldn't get into hammered blade, but then you have your different configurations here, which is 3-bladed configurations in willow, which is a lot of bait fish flash for a shad imitator right there. So that's your willow leafs. That's your blade sizes in your willow leafs. The number 4 and 4.5 gives you a much more lift, slow your bait down, fish it at a little slower speed, but control your depth very easily. And then your Colorado willows, I don't throw as many of these, but I do throw them when I don't want as much flash, or I'm just looking for just a little change of pace. A lot of times I'll do a gold Colorado and a silver willow leaf. You know, I just don't want that quite as much flash, but I still want it to be a bait fish style. You can fish this a little deeper, doesn't have as much lip, so you can slow roll it a little bit better, fish it a little bit deeper, and you don't have as much lift on it. So that's what the willow Colorado kind of gives you. The other style of bait that you're going to see a lot of, and we talked about, is round blades. Your round blades are your Colorado and your Indiana. That's your 2 main types of round blades. There's another one here I'm going to show you in just a minute. This is your Colorado, which is your roundest blade out there, known for the most amount of thump. It puts out a tremendous amount of thump, great for dirty water, great for slow rolling, great for just getting in that real stained, heavy, dirty water. It's a great bait for that. And then your Indiana, which is a round blade, so you're going to get a good amount of thump, but you're also going to get a little bit more flash because the blade is a little longer, and you're going to, instead of getting a real small flash, you're going to get a little bit longer flash. So it's a good bait fish imitator. But again, this is a great combination for slow rolling, a lot of thump, and dirty water is your round blades. We throw a bait right here, which we call the slow roller, and this is a 3/4 ounce head with a Colorado Indiana. And that Indiana is a big one. That's the number 5 Indiana. So it puts out a lot of thump on the blade, but yet a little bit of flash. So I can throw that out on a real steep dropping bank, and I can slow roll that thing real slow. And I like that early in the spring when the fish are on those real steep rocky banks where the sun's beating in on it. And I like it in the fall, late fall, early winter, and into the winter, like an afternoon bite. You know, when the sun's been beating on there for a while, you can go. Those fish will move up and feed on those steep banks, and you can take a spinnerbait and throw it up on that bank and just slow roll it and file the contour very nicely with that. So that's what that bait's all about. That's what those round blades allow you to do. They also allow you to draw in fish and have a target for them in dirty water. So a lot of times you'll see your darker colored skirts with round blades on them just for the thump, and usually they're gold or black nickel, but they're a darker, whole thing's darker, and it's a lot of thump. It draws you in. The fish can feel it coming a long distance away, and it's really good for stained or heavily stained water. Again, the Indiana, single Indiana is the same kind of thing. Slow rolling, dirty water, a lot of thump on that. So, other thing you want to talk about with blades is color, blade color. So the old adage is silver blades, gold blades, a combination of silver and gold. That's your main blades that you're going to use. But also painted blades. We talked about recently a tournament was won with some white painted blades and kind of sparked the issue again. So that's your white painted blades. You have your chartreuse and white painted blades, and then you have your double chartreuse painted blades. Of course, from out in the Midwest, which became famous, is the orange and either silver or orange and painted attractor blade there. That's famous out in the Okie region. Painted blades are a different look in the water totally. They put off a totally different flash. Some people think they're only good in dirty water. I tend to think that I like them in dirty water, say the chartreuse blades in dirty water, but I also like the chartreuse blade in crystal clear water, especially if there's smallmouth around. If it's any kind of close to the fall, I break out the double willow in crystal clear water, and I make sure that it's heavy, like a 1/2 ounce at least, so I can chuck it and wind it pretty quickly. And I want those fish to have just something big and gaudy coming through the water. That's a really good smallmouth killer in the, up north in your Finger Lakes regions, anywhere really. You got smallies and you got clear water. That's a great combination. The chartreuse and white is another combination for stained water. A really good combination for that. And then your double whites, this is dirty water as well as clear water also. I mean, you know, when everybody's throwing a silver and gold or a double silver, and you come behind them with a white combination like this, it's a totally different look in the water. And there's days where these baits will work. Now, let me tell you, you're not going to go out and catch fish on these things every single day. These colored blades, these painted blades, they're baits that a certain situation comes about, and if you don't have them, you're missing out on it. I've had days which was unbelievable, exceptional fishing with painted blades, go out the very next day, and it's like I'm at a whole new body of water, like no bites, no nothing. So for me, it's a combination of making sure I have them and throw them when I feel like I should throw them. Stained water, clear water, smallmouth or stained water for largemouth, and it just rain. You know, you're getting that dirty water coming in the lake, and you're up in that upper end where the dirty water's coming in. You know there's fish there. You were catching them. This is a good bait to put on there and throw it around and see if you can get some bites on that. But you will see that these painted blades, when they work, it is lights out of the park, unbelievable day, one you tell your buddies about forever, and then you come back and you only had one and you go out and buy 50 of them and have them in your boat, and then you look at them all the time, and then all of a sudden that situation comes up, and then you have that one day, that 2 days, that 3 days during the year, which it was just amazing to throw those baits. So it's very important to have them, but don't rely on them all the time. As a matter of fact, more than not, they don't work. Your combinations that work pretty consistently are double gold blades, your double gold blades, or your gold and silver, which I have right here. This gold and silver, this is one of my greatest combinations right here, is a number 4 gold willow leaf with a number 4.5 silver. This is the spot remover color by War Eagle, which is, you know, you can catch fish on this thing from coast to coast and north to south. It does it all everywhere. But that combination of blade color, it's great for everything. It's great for clear water. It's great for a little bit of stain in the water. It's great for cloudy days, sunny days. I mean, when in doubt, that combination will work really well for you. You'll see in my boat that I have a lot of ones like that. The double silver blades is your highest flash blades. A lot of guys like that in real sunny days. They like to throw the double silvers. And then your double golds are like you see on this bait right here, which is one of my stained water baits, not dirty, you know, not clear, but a stained water bait. This is a really great combination, is a double willow, number 4, 4.5, with a little bit of chartreuse in there just to kind of go well with that stained water. But that double gold blade is a really good stained water color, very natural flash and stained water. Remember about the colors. The color of the blades is as important as the color of the skirt. Matter of fact, I think it's probably more important. So you have silver gold tandems, or willow leaves, and you have the double silvers, and then you have double golds. And you got to have them all. I'm telling you, got to have them all to experiment with the different conditions that you run across. And it's important to have them all. You don't need as many willow Colorados as you do double willows. I think double willows are more all around blade. And the same thing with thumper blades. You don't need a lot of them. You just need a couple to have. Usually your chartreuse and white or your chartreuse skirt, or a dark one like this, because you're dealing with the dirty water. The other round blade, and this is kind of something that's relatively new. It's a turtle style blade, kind of like a hybrid between a Indiana and a Colorado and a willow. It's just like kind of has it all. It's got a little peak in it that gives you a really different style of flash. This is a blade that we throw in June and July, around the grass, when the bait fish is small. I like this combination right here. This is just a great small bait fish combination that we just do really well with. It's a really great tidal water combination for around the grass and tidal water. You hear a lot of guys talking about that. And a lot of times it's that spot remover color in that tidal water. Match the blades to the bait fish that you're fishing. You're fishing big bait fish, go with a number 5, big double 5 willows, or the 4, 4.5, number 4, 4.5 baits, which are These style of baits right here, if you got bigger bait fish around, that's what you want to do. The bigger the blade, willow leaf, the higher in the water column it's going to go. The easier it is to control the depth over top of some kind of structure or shallow water. The smaller the blade, the faster you can pull it. Double 33s or the 33 and a 4 on your burning baits for speed so they don't roll over. Remember that. And then your round blades, which are your thumping blades, that will allow you to slow roll and get a little deeper in the water and allow you to follow the contour. Really good for cold water, really good for dirty water. Slow rolling is good for dirty water, and that's where these combinations of the round blades come in. And then your little tiny blades are for your little tiny bait fish. So just match the hatch with the blades. Remember the painted blades and how good they are for situations. Doesn't work all the time, but they're really amazing when they do work. And then mess around with the blade configurations for the situation that you're in. And color of the skirt, man, there's a million colors. Your whites and your chartreuse and whites are going to be really good for you, and a combination of that. But don't be afraid to throw, you know, a crazy color like a pink, or you know, like a bone chartreuse. That's a bone chartreuse, which is a little different kind of color. Or like one that me and George and I have helped design over the years, is a green pumpkin. This is your crawfish imitator, and allows you to slow roll and get down on the bottom and really imitate your crawfish. Great dirty water bait, but really bait you want to throw out and just drag across the bottom. It's an Indiana-Colorado combination with a green pumpkin skirt, which is, we can put a crawfish on the back of that. We can put just a twister tail on the back of that for a highlight color, and we can drag that real slow and get that crawfish presentation through the water. So you got your blacks and stuff for your dirty water and your crawfish. But they make brown ones, they make you know, green pumpkin watermelons, they make all these different crawfishy kind of colors, because this all is starting to evolve into this slow rolling and dragging for these crawfish presentations. And it's kind of like the chatterbait thing, you know. The chatterbait, you can fish pretty close to the bottom and drag it on the bottom and have a crayfish profile. The same thing can be done with a spinnerbait. Just trailers on your spinnerbaits. I get that question all the time. If you recall, back in the day, there was the regular round thing with the two little fork tails that come out the back. That was a spinnerbait trailer that you ran on everything. It didn't matter what spinnerbait, you would just put it on and that would be your trailer. I probably don't use enough trailers anymore. I used to use them all the time. I don't use them as much. And a lot of that has to do with the skirt material that's out there. They're making the skirts that kind of build in a type of a trailer to them. The bulkier you want your bait, the more of a trailer you want to use. So a lot of times in the early spring, when the only thing around is those big giant bait fish, that's when you want to start putting a lot of those trailers on. And you can put on, you know, swim bait on the back of that. You can put, you know, Zako on the back as a good spinnerbait trailer. A twister tail grub I use you know, more than anything right now for my crayfish presentation. That's the kind of trailers you want to use is when you want that bulk. Again, coming up right now, we're in 40-degree marks in our water. So for us, we're going to start slow rolling, and I'm going to bulk up. I'm going to put a trailer on there to give me a bulkier body, because you know, when it warms up and a fish eats, he wants to eat something and get, you know, a lot of energy in him all at once. And it seems like that's what's around. You're matching the hatch of what's around. A lot of your other fry and stuff have moved on, or they're somewhere different. The bigger shad are left over. They're growing, you know, they're starting to grow up. They're getting bigger. So you want that bulkier presentation. I just don't throw them a lot any other time. I allow the skirt to do the work for me. I allow the skirts to have the right bulk to them. And I rely a bunch more on the blades and the blade configurations and the blade colors than I do the trailer. So it's probably not a great thing, not a good thing, but you know, the skirts have evolved over time, and you'll see that a lot of guys don't use as much in trailer-wise as they used to. If you're dealing with a smaller profile and a smaller bait fish, then you don't want to put anything on them. You just fish them small. You know, fish them. You know, they make them with skirts that are low strand skirts that, you know, real open and wide and fluffy, so they don't really imitate anything big. They want it to imitate something really small. I think we kind of covered everything there. I just wanted to talk with you guys today about the spinnerbaits, breaking it down with the blades, the blade colors, the combinations. So throw them. Buy a bunch of them, take them out, throw them, mess with your presentation, mess with your speeds, mess with your blade colors and the different colors of water, and match to hatch with the bait fish. And I think you'll have better success with it. And till next time, thanks for stopping by.